My name is Scarlett. At 26 years old, I just got married 6 months ago. Harry, my husband, is 30 years old, and he works as an office worker. The story I'm about to tell happened when Harry unilaterally decided to have his younger sister, Bella, live in our brand new house. It's a house worth $45,000 built for the two of us newlyweds. Ever since our engagement, Harry and I had been discussing the layout of the house and choosing the furniture, planning to move in immediately after the wedding. When Harry's stuff was carried in, I was surprised by the sheer volume of it. I said to him, "Harry, would it fit in your space in the house? Don't you think you got a bit too much?" Harry nonchalantly replied, "Huh, didn't I mention Bella is moving in with us?" I was taken aback. "Bella is moving in with us? Why? We're newlyweds," I challenged Harry. But he responded, "What's the big deal? Bella is family to you too, and there's no problem with us living together. She wants to live in the new house." I protested without even a discussion. Harry, however, ignored it and continued unpacking his stuff. He eventually started shouting at me, "If you don't like it, you can leave. I already decided to have Bella, so quit your complaints." Clearly, I was not at all convinced and told him I'd call my brother. Fearing my brother, Harry quickly changed his tune. "Wait, don't call him. Bella isn't going to stay here forever. She just needs a place until she finds a job and a house. Can you please understand?" I reluctantly agreed to this. When I suggested, "Hey, can Bella use the guest room, right?" Harry made a dubious face and mumbled, Yeah," though he didn't seem convinced. I moved Bella's stuff into the room intended for guests. After a hectic day of unpacking, we had completed more than half of it. We were having a toast to celebrate our move when the doorbell rang. It was already past 9 p.m., so I thought of ignoring it. But Harry hurriedly went to the front door, unlocked it, and let the visitor in. I was shocked as I was already dressed for bed. As I hid in the kitchen, Harry called me out, "Hey, Scarlett, Bella's here." Annoyed, I returned from the kitchen to the living room.
Welcome, Bella.
"What brings you here so late?" I said, trying to hide my irritation. Bella retorted, "Can't I come home whenever I want? Now, where's my spacious room? Show me around, big bro," she said, and Harry led her to the guest room. Soon, I heard Bella protesting, "This isn't it." He said, "It's a larger room, didn't you?" She flung open doors, looking around for another room on the second floor. "Here it is. This is the room for me, right, big bro?" I had a bad feeling about this, and when I went upstairs, Bella was claiming my workroom as hers. I couldn't help raising my voice. "This is my workroom, so it can't be your room." Harry suggested, "Why not let's make this Bella's room?" But I kept insisting, "No way." Then I suggested, "How about the room next to it? His workroom is also quite large." I pointed to the room intended to be Harry's workroom for his hobby, but he panicked. "Not that room. I've been looking forward to using it. I chose the wallpaper and everything." No way. So the only option left was the future children's room, which was currently being used as a guest room. Bella, still unsatisfied, snapped, "And you're quite insolent, aren't you? Not listening to the head of the household. Quite cheeky for a freeloader who depends on him for meals." I lost all my energy to argue back, thinking, who's the real freeloader here? While I was heading back to the living room, I heard Bella asking, "Hey, big bro, do we have anything to eat?"
I'm hungry.
I ignored her and continued with my solo celebration of our move in the living room. They seemed to be having an argument, but I didn't care until Harry came over and said, "You're always going against me and drinking all high and mighty." He took the wine bottle and gulped it down, and then he shouted, "If you can't listen to me, get out. I'm the head of the household. Don't underestimate me," and he left with Bella. Despite the late hour, I decided to call my brother and tell him about Bella. He picked up the phone on the first ring, as if he was waiting for it. However, I could tell from his voice that he was angry. I said, "Are you mad, bro? Were you sleeping?"
I'm sorry.
It turned out I called him in the middle of an argument with his wife. "What's up? Did the move go smoothly?" "Sorry, I couldn't help." "It's done. Don't you have to talk to your wife? Is it okay to leave her like this?" When I asked my brother, Harry replied tiredly, "It's over for us." Worried, I suggested that I'd come to his place, but he said he'd rather be left alone for now. I began to tell him about Bella, how she had started living with us from the first day of our married life, and how she didn't like to use the guest room. I even told him that my husband and Bella had been calling me bratty and telling me to do as I was told. He was worried I was being treated like a servant by my husband and Bella, but I laughed off his concerns. "I'm your sister, right? Me, a servant? If they can manage it, let them try," I retorted, to which my brother laughed and said, "Good point. But call me if anything happens." We then shifted our topic to the problems between my brother and his wife. What I heard left me flabbergasted. Apparently, his wife had been seeing men from a dating site and was in an affair. He'd found out. Because she had accidentally sent him a message meant for her lover, Harry had been suspecting her infidelity for some time, and once he got confirmation, he took her phone away and sent her back to her parents. He's planning to visit her parents' home tomorrow for a discussion. We ended the call agreeing that both of us are in a terrible situation and deciding to catch up over the phone again soon. While tidying up the remaining boxes, I waited for my husband and Bella to come home. They returned late at night, cheerfully drunk. As I continued unpacking, at the of welcoming them, they approached me. "Bella and I have thought of a great idea. Let's make our bedroom Bella's room. We can each sleep in our workrooms. What do you think?" "Good idea, right? Make sure to clear the room from Ollie by tomorrow," Harry said. "There's something I want to make clear," I replied, and asked them, "How much will Bella contribute towards the groceries and household supplies each month? And I heard she's not planning on living here forever, so how long is she planning to stay?" My husband started to panic at my question. "What? You want to get money from jobless Bella? I'll pay for my salary, so there's no problem, right?" Bella added, "How long will I stay?" "Until I'm satisfied. My mom's cooking is all old-fashioned, and I don't like it. Plus, she's annoying at home, always nagging me to do laundry and cleaning. Here, I can do whatever I want without spending a dime. It's the best. If you don't like it, Scarlett, why don't you move out?" I snapped. "Then let's split the household expenses. I will work to cover my share. Feel free to use your salary for yourself," I told them. For some reason, they seemed pleased with this, even though I added, "You will need to take care of your own chores." It seemed like they weren't really listening, so I made sure to leave a written note about it. The next day, I was worried about my brother and decided to visit his workplace. He is the president of a construction company, taking it over after our father passed away from an illness last year. When I arrived at his office, he was surprised to see me. When I asked what's up, he said, "I'll listen to what you have to say first." So I asked him for a favor. I explained what had happened the night before and asked him if he could hire me at his company. He agreed, saying, "Our secretary is quitting due to her husband's relocation, so it's good timing." Then I heard about his situation. I was so shocked that my heart almost stopped. His wife was pregnant, but there was no doubt that the child was not his. The text messages on the phone he'd taken from his child showed conversations, photos, and videos with her lover. The messages indicated that the man was trying to escape responsibility after learning about the pregnancy. When I asked my brother if he was going to divorce his wife, he replied, "It'll be hard for the kids, but divorce is the only option." So I suggested that he involve a lawyer and have a proper discussion, and I went home. In my room, I kept thinking of the texts and pictures of my sister-in-law's affair that my brother showed me. I couldn't get them out of my mind. The sister-in-law that I knew was a loving, family-oriented person, and I loved her for it. However, she had been betraying my brother. I felt as if I lost a dear friend, and tears welled up in my eyes. Despite all that, Bella has been knocking on my door again and again since a while ago.
Hey, I'm hungry.
Can you make something? She hollers from the other side of the door. But the shock I got was too much, and I didn't even have the energy to argue with Bella, so I left her alone. Then I got a call from my husband, who should be at work. I didn't answer because I knew what he would want to talk about. I didn't want to talk to anyone. But then I received a text message from my brother. He was asking if I could accompany him to see a lawyer on the next day. I sent an okay sticker. I must have fallen asleep. My husband's shouting woke me up. You didn't even prepare food for Bella, and you're sleeping. What's that about? He roared. To which I silently produced a pledge and pointed to it for him to read. My husband then told Bella, "Let's let her sleep today. She seems to be off. We can scold her once she's feeling better tomorrow." I'm not sick. I'm just tired of you guys mumbling, I muttered as I fell back to sleep. The following morning, without waking my husband, I headed to my brother's. My brother, it seemed, hadn't been able to sleep at all at home, and his eyes were bloodshot. I prepared and served breakfast for the children before taking them to kindergarten in the car, which I was driving. The children said, "Mommy and Daddy had a fight, and Mommy left the house." Mommy was the bad one. She left us at home and went out. We cried because we were left alone, so Daddy got angry. The children thought. Maybe it was better not to have their mother around because she easily got angry. I told them, "I see. If you're lonely, call Auntie, okay?" To which they responded, "Yay, we might get lonely today." I couldn't tell for sure, but I got the impression that they didn't seem sad even though their mother wasn't there. After dropping the children off at kindergarten, I headed to the law office with my brother. The lawyer told us that there was ample evidence from pictures and videos on the sister-in-law's smartphone, line messages, and recorded conversations between the sister and my brother. My brother's main contention was to divorce and retain parental rights. After my brother finished his story, I had a chance to share about my situation with my husband, got some advice, and was dropped off at home by my brother. My brother was going to gather the rest of the family today and inform them about the divorce. "If anything happens, give us a call. We are all gonna be there." With these somewhat prophetic words, my brother left. When I entered the living room, the house was a mess. I guess they tried to make breakfast first. The kitchen area was greasy, and dishes were left on the table. I was exasperated by the sight. I hesitated to clean up the kitchen and cooking utensils that I also use when Bella appeared. "Where did you go without even making breakfast?" "Harry didn't eat anything and went to work." "Isn't it unacceptable to abandon household chores as a wife?" She confronted me. To which I responded, "You know what? I'm not your maid or servant. Weren't you taught to clean up after yourself since you were a child?" Ignoring her repetitive, "But you're the wife," I headed to my room. Then my belongings were gone, and Bella's stuff had invaded my room. I returned to the living room and questioned Bella. "Did you enter my room? Your stuff is in there. What's going on?" Upon asking this, she said, "Oh, I've loved your room since I first saw it. It fits my neat and cute image perfectly, don't you think? I've moved your stuff into the guest room." Hearing this, I rushed to the guest room. When I got there, my computer and belongings had been haphazardly thrown in. I felt anger sparking. It was way beyond what I could tolerate at that moment. I felt a strong desire for revenge. I will never forgive this girl, I decided. I would wait for my husband, Harry, to come home, show him the terrible state of our house, and then ask him, "Do you still want to live here with Bella?" I prepared for all the possible outcomes. Harry, who seemed to have gotten a call from Bella, came home earlier than usual. Then I heard his loud footsteps approaching the guest room where I was. Seeing him come straight to the guest room, I was convinced he already knew Bella had taken over my room, and he wouldn't be on my side. When he opened the door and stepped in, looking like a madman, Bella was right beside him, a thin smile on her face. You apparently went against Bella. You're the one at fault here, not even making breakfast. Aren't you my wife? Isn't it your job to take care of me? Bella is your sister-in-law. You should be taking care of her and put up with her, he said. I thought, so this is how it's going to be. At that moment, I felt every shred of love I had for my husband disappear. He hadn't said one word to defend me, no mention of Bella being in the wrong or asking her to leave or having her do household chores or giving me my room back. I told him, if you're going to let Bella live here, I'm going to invite my brother over. He's never seen our house before. Maybe I should call him over now. Despite his usual fear of my brother, in front of his sister, Bella, Harry acted quite bold. Are you sure about that? If you let that thug into our house, I'll kick you out, he said with a confident look. He threatened me, so I told him, kick me out, try if you can. I'll call my mother, brother, and his wife and have them see the house. Thinking that I was going to beg and cry at his threat of kicking me out, he retorted, do not dare call your family. If you don't like it, then leave. Then Bella chimed in, this is my castle with Harry, you know. You have no right to call anyone here. Even if your family comes, we'll just kick them out. In response, I picked up my phone and said, I'll call my brother then. To Harry and Bella, I added, we should live together without you and your family. We can invite our friends over and party without worrying about anything. As Bella said this, they both seemed excited about the prospect of me leaving, with Harry chiming in, that sounds fun. Maybe we should just get divorced already. I was getting increasingly irritated, so I decided to call my family over right at this moment. When Harry and Bella were still high-spirited, they were overjoyed, thinking about the freedom they'd have without me, and their minds were filled with the thought of kicking me out. So I said, all right, but you'll regret this. I'm calling my family now. I called my brother and told my family to come as soon as they can. My brother responded, we've been waiting for this. We're on our way. I figured he must have sensed that I would call him, and I was moved by his foresight. My family arrived within about 30 minutes. Bella, who had threatened to kick out my family when they first arrived, turned pale upon seeing my brother. Oh, Bella, I thought you were going to kick out my family when they arrived, I said. At this, Bella could only shake her head at me. Seeing her husband, Harry, also shrunk in fear after witnessing his ally Bella become scared. My brother has been practicing judo since he was a kid, and until he injured his knee in college, he had been a regular at national competitions. He was a big guy, standing at 6 feet and over, and his intimidating appearance was emphasized by his buzz cut. He's now a coach for a local boys' club. My younger brother is the same, also practicing judo, and he looks just like his older brother. Bella seems to have forgotten that she saw them at the wedding ceremony. Even though they are brothers, they are quite memorable. Huh, we're getting kicked out by who? Isn't it you guys who are leaving? Laughed my elder brother. To which Bella, gathering her courage, retorted, yeah, my brother is divorcing his useless wife now. Please leave, she demanded. Then my younger brother retorted, what? You guys are the ones leaving, aren't you? This is Scarlett's house, isn't it? Built with her share of our father's inheritance and Scarlett's name, as my mother went to the kitchen tidying up, remarking, oh, dear, what a mess. Then she called out, don't drag out the conversation, get to the point already. So the brothers obediently replied, okay, then turned to me, instructing, there's another person coming, let the person in when it arrives, while gesturing for Harry and Bella to sit down. We have 2 matters to discuss today. The first is that we need you to leave, he told my husband and Bella. When Bella asked, "Brother, is it true that this is Scarlett's house?" Harry responded, "Well, I was talking to the contractors about the interior and stuff, so I thought it was my house. But maybe it's not, but I'm the head of the household, right?" Apparently, he thought it was his house because he had become the head of the household without even considering where the money came from. Huh. You know that being the head of the household and being the owner of the house are two different things, right? Was the response to Harry, who fell silent. But Bella retorted, "I won't leave. Do you know about residency rights? I have the right, so I won't leave. If you don't want us here, you leave," glaring at me. "You seem to have researched this thoroughly, but this isn't a rental property. You're not paying Scarlett any rent, are you? So the residency rights don't apply here," someone told this. It was Harry who began to resist this time. "But I'm married to Scarlett, right? I can't leave. I won't separate." Just then, the doorbell rang. The guests the brothers had mentioned had probably arrived. When I opened the front door, my sister-in-law, my older brother's wife, stood there crying. Before letting her into the house, I asked my brother, "Your wife is here with your kid. What should we do with them?" And my mother suggested she would take the kid to a room upstairs. After showing my mother to the room, I let my sister-in-law into the house. Harry was surprised when he saw her face. How did you find out where we live?" "I'll explain everything properly, so please go home for today," Harry was telling her, acting suspiciously. At this point, it was my elder brother's turn to intervene. Did you forget my wife's face? This is the second matter we need to discuss." Upon hearing that, the color drained from my husband's face. "What? You mean she is?" It appeared my husband was unaware that she was my brother's wife. Upon realizing this, he tried to make a run for it, but he seemed unable to move. "Seems like my wife is pregnant with your child. Did you guys do something to get pregnant?" my brother said, throwing down the copied evidence of the affair on the table. "Well,